Hi, and welcome to Fedmail. Thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon. Good Shabbos to you. Of course, I want to begin by talking about Ukraine. The situation over the past week has become more and more serious. Jewish Federation, along with our synagogue partners, held a prayer service at Worcester JCC this past week. Thank you to all who attended and to our rabbis who spoke beautifully and offered prayer and words of comfort during these difficult days. I also want to thank all of the donors to the Ukraine Emergency Fund. We've raised over $30,000 in just a very short period of time, in about a week. All of that is being used immediately to help to alleviate this emergency crisis situation. And I also want to point out that today is, we're beginning the new Hebrew month now, and we'll be celebrating Purim in just a few weeks. It's interesting, if you try to type Purim into your iPhone, it autocorrects to Putin. And I think that there's something to this, because Purim, of course, is the story of our rescue from the evil plans of Haman, who sought our destruction and our end. And we were rescued, of course, by Mordecai and Esther and their good work. And now Vladimir Putin, who, again, it's auto-corrected when you try to type Purim, it types in Putin. In this very month, at this time, Putin has his eyes set on the destruction of Ukraine, led, of course, by a Jewish president, our Jewish superhero, Zelensky. So I thought that it would be interesting to note that, and I hope that our prayers are answered, our prayers for goodness and peace to prevail, and that ultimately the forces of dark and evil are pushed back and are destroyed at the end of this. So with Purim coming in about 2 weeks, this is a particularly meaningful, I think it's a particularly meaningful message that applies to our current situation. Speaking of Purim, I want to remind everyone of our Purim celebration coming up on the evening of March 17th at Polar Park. The whole community is invited to attend. We have a lot of our congregations and other organizations as co-sponsors for this. Really looking forward to that fun. And also, getting back to Ukraine, I want to mention that if you haven't made a gift to the Ukraine Emergency Fund, we certainly would appreciate you considering that. You can use the link right here in Fedmail or by visiting the Federation's website. Our partners on the ground in Ukraine and the surrounding countries and in Israel are all working very hard to assist those who are facing this emergency situation. A few events coming up in the community I want to remind you of. March 13th, Hadassah Burroughs chapter is doing a Hamantashen workshop. Don't miss it. That should be a lot of fun. Before that, on March 6th, JCC Author Series is having Jenna Blum, the author of Woodrow on the Bench, taking place March 6th, 10 a.m., JCC Author Series. Check it out. Also, our Jewish Theater Company of Central Mass is back in action March 10th, doing a program on the poet, songwriter, Yiddish poet and songwriter Bela. Again, March 10th, you don't want to miss that. And I also want to remind you that our friends at B'nai B'rith each year have a Queen Esther Scholarship that takes place. Well, that is, the applications are open this time of the year, coinciding with Purim. So make sure that you look out for the Queen Esther Scholarships. It's a great way to support young people and their education. So Queen Esther Scholarship, scroll down in Fedmail and you can find the information where you can secure an application for that. And also, last but not least, the JCC Gala is coming up on March 12th. So in about a week's time, we'll be, God willing, celebrating all together in person and enjoying each other's company and celebrating Becky and George Pins, who are this year's honorees. So we look forward to it. In the meantime, we're doing a lot of planning behind the scenes for a number of programs taking place in the community this spring, including Yom HaAtzmaut, Yom HaShoah, the Tapper Charitable Foundation Righteous Gentile Award being presented to Worcester Police Chief Steve Sargent, and a number of other terrific community programs, including PJ Libraries, a big PJ Library celebration in June, and Jewish Heritage Day at Polar Park this summer. So we're very hopeful that we'll be able to see each other and experience these great celebrations. In the meantime, this being the month of Adar, Purim happening this month, we're supposed to bring joy and celebratory feelings And I can only say that with the situation, the geopolitical situation and uncertainty, it's welcome that we'll have an opportunity to celebrate and be joyous. And we also need to keep the hundreds of thousands of Jews who live in that area in Ukraine in our minds. We have to do all we can to support them. And we pray that the wisdom and thoughtfulness and strength of our leaders, again, overcomes the darkness and trouble that has come to that part of the world and to so many other parts of the world too. So with that, that's our Shabbat Fedmail message for the day. I want to thank you all for supporting Jewish life in Central Mass and around the world, especially in times like these. We're here for you. You're here for us. We're all here for each other. Shabbat Shalom. Bye-bye.